You know, if you wanted that word to go away, then you would stop using it.
Right.
But, you know, oh, well, that's my homie. That's my brother. That's my best friend. Well, whatever, dude. You know, I don't come up to Savvy and go, you know, what's up, you heinous fucking Nazi douchebag.
What's up, my ninja?
Yeah, exactly, you know.
What's up, my ninja?
I'm just saying, I mean, if we want to talk about stereotypes, you know, the blacks have the big dick stereotype, athletic stereotype, you know, and I'm sure they don't mind those. But when it comes to not tipping well, they probably don't want to hold on to that one. Just like the, you know, Asians, good at math.
Yeah, good at science.
Dicks.
Rice sticks.
Mexicans. What's some Mexican stereotypes?
Mexicans are perfect, man. What are you talking
about? Nah, Mexicans are hardworking, even if they only get paid $1 an hour.
Hard workers.
You know.
Right. Hard workers.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's a good quality. We're trying to find.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is that would be one that you want to hang on to.
Oh, okay, that's one you want to hang on to.
That's a bad one.
The big family living in a 1-bedroom house with 16 in a studio apartment. You know, that's something you might not want to hang on to, but it's true. You know,
and generally speaking, yeah,
they're farm hands. You know, I mean,
hands.
People look down on that, but Mexicans as a culture are very proud. Why? Because they're putting in a hard day of work and they're working to support their family. You know, so we all have them. I mean,
what about the white guy? White guy stereotypes. They can't dance.
Can't dance. The white trash. You know. Nobody wants to be white trash.
Right.
Nobody wants to be white trash.
Yeah, inbred, right?
But
that's Southern though. That's like, I'm just saying, like a general white guy from California.
Well,
surfer dude.
Surfer dude.
There are no real white guy stereotypes because, you know, yeah, you can't dance, this and that and the other thing, but for the most part, in California, you don't get those stereotypes because how many times, okay, we saw an email the other day of I love Walmart, okay, and most of these pictures were from the Midwest or the South, and you got guys wearing pink knee-high socks with cowboy boots, tidy shorts, I mean, you know, stupid shit like that. But in California, you're not going to see that. You know, you're not going to see. Why? Because everybody's so image conscious in California, you know.
At least in the big cities. You know, about Barstow or.
Well, yeah, Barstow, Fresno, Sacramento, you know, stuff like that. But, you know, I'm white, and the funniest thing.
I always thought you were.
Well, I'm part Mexican. Well, I'm a mutt. Let's just put it that way.
Too. I think you're only purebred here.
But
am I? Yeah, I guess I am. Shit.
But my grandfather on one side grew up in Wisconsin. My grandmother and grandfather on the other side grew up in Nebraska and Missouri, respectively.
White folks.
And, you know, so for the most part, I'm white. But the funny thing is I think white, as far as I grew up, white people don't take those stereotypes as seriously. It's like, you know, you got nigga on one side, or you got spick, you got wetback, whatever. And then, what's the worst thing you could call a white person? Honky. You know?
Racist.
For years, that was it, you know? Nazi. I mean, we don't take it seriously because...
Peckerwood, aspirin, snow, powder. Redneck, hick.
All those are funny because it's like, okay.
Well, it's because it's your country. It's the white folks' country. That's why.
You know, whatever it is. Whatever it is. Well, in California, I'll tell you right now, it's New Mexico. That's what it is.
Yeah, Mexico.
You got to speak Spanish.
Yeah. You know, you go to the DMV and they have English and Spanish.
Why isn't it like that anywhere else?
Because we're so close to the Mexican border.
Yeah.
I mean, but look, you got France. They speak French. It's not like, you know, just because they're next to Spain, that you have to speak Spanish too. They're right there. Their countries right next to each other.
Right. And then there's Portugal too. But I hate when I get a table and they expect me to accommodate their Spanish because they don't speak a lick of English.
Yeah.
That kind of like just pisses me off because I'm thinking you're living here, working here, learn the fucking language. I know you've been here 5,
And see,
6
this
years.
is coming from a Mexican man. I feel you. I mean, if I moved to Italy,
I'd
I
learn the
better
language.
Speak Italian.
Yeah.
6 months you'd be.
They're not
speaking
gonna
Italian.
coddle me.
No.
Exactly.
They're not gonna kowtow to me, cater to me. I better assimilate or
They're gonna throw
Get
you
the
out
fuck
the window
out.
and shit.
go hungry.
You know.
Yeah. But I think 6 months is ample time to learn a language if you're in a foreign country. If that's all your strengths go into that. I had a buddy from Pakistan, man. 6 months he was speaking English better than most of us because they learned the real proper way. They use big words and shit. They're funny. They're not like Mexicans. We learn we learn English and it's the fucked up English.
Nah.
Worst kind of English you could possibly learn.
Spanglish.
Yeah, it's
Well, Lou, right? Lucky Lou, he
still
he
don't
didn't speak
speak
Spanish.
English.
He didn't speak Spanish at all until he married his wife, who's from Colombia,
Oh.
and he learned Spanish from her.
Well, he doesn't speak English.
No, he speaks gibberish.
Guy's a Neanderthal, man. That's how he got his name, Lucky Lou. By
Yeah,
the way he plays
we got to
cards.
get him in here and have him talk on the mic for a little while. But
Interview him.
yeah, I'd interview him. But it's the whole language thing. I mean, I'd go to put together a dresser from IKEA, and it's printed in 6 different languages. I mean, I know it's a Swiss company,
Oh yeah.
but at the same time, is it Swiss?
I
Swedish.
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 Swedish?
Swiss is Switzerland, so it's a Swedish.
Swedish
IKEA.
company. Yeah, I mean, really?
They got the
Ah.
U with the 2 dots on top. Yeah, it's Swedish.
Well, no. I mean, that's the funny thing.
What is that thing called?
What, the fucking letter?
The 2 dots above the U.
I don't know. It's probably pronounced like a V. I don't. You know what? I don't know because I'm not familiar with that.
What's the little squiggly line above the N in Spanish? What's that called?
The
Enya.
Enya.
Enya?
Yeah, it's like an NY. It's like NY.
Like the artist Enya or Enye?
Enya, not Enya.
Enya. See, I know that shit.
Have you ever
But-
seen a picture of Enya? See what she
No.
looks like? She's just this old, probably 40-something-year-old woman.
Now,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but in her
Just-
heyday, she was a flowing redhead.
Does she perform? Did she ever
perform
perform?
oral sex?
Does she ever perform like at concerts, or is her
Oh,
music
shit.
just on the radio?
No, I mean, how the fuck could you perform that shit at a concert? I mean, it was just like what is it? New age music, spiritual music.
Well,
Or
she would
it was just,
record.
like, flowing
She would
rivers and-
record like up to 100 tracks of the same thing, so it makes her sound like an angel. She would sing the same thing over again. That's why it sounded so crazy. No one else did that.
Right. at
Well,
that time.
how does Madonna or Britney Spears perform in public?
Yeah.
Well, Madonna's a good performer.
Yeah.
That's why she's been around for a long time.
Yeah.
I think we were talking about this a
Yeah.
while ago. It's just the people that have been around for a long time have the best live shows. U2, Stones,
Right. The
Aerosmith.
Stones, man, those guys are
Aerosmith.
Still.
you know,
Led
Oh,
Zeppelin.
I mean, even look at some of the hip hop artists. LL Cool J still doing his thing because he
Yeah.
has a good live
Well,
show.
Right. He was a
You know.
first man. He's a pioneer.
But now some of these performers, you can just hear the music. It sounds like they're so synthesized. If I hear another fucking robotic voice, man, again, it won't be soon enough. It'll be too soon, actually.
I
Yeah.
know that shit belongs to Zap, and it should have stayed there.
Man, I mean, I grew up in the golden age of hip hop, and it's just not the same anymore.
No.
The topics
know.
aren't the same. The
Oh,
music isn't
no.
the same. It's
Well, that's the thing, is I was watching a thing on N.W.A. Niggas with attitudes. The
you have
fucking
to edit this show.
Yeah. I think we've overstepped our bounds.
the original real gangster rappers. And I think it's changed, Ice-T and whoever else from back in the day. They had rage, It was based on you being hard in your neighborhood, and you had to be hard to survive. So the topics just change as you get older, Now they got daughters, and they're not singing about bitches and hoes anymore.
All right, bitch and hoe. We gotta get going. This has been the Sperm Donor Show. Everyone say sayonara.
Adios.